Audrey McClain, and I'm here at Crystal Bridges in Bentonville, Arkansas, to present to you Leon Pomarede's View of St. Louis.
Leon Pomarede's View of St. Louis was completed in 1835 and is located in the colonial to early 19th century art gallery at Crystal Bridges. The medium used was oil on canvas, and it is approximately 29 by 39 inches and large enough to catch your eye. This is one of Pomarede's better-known works and is one of the most famous paintings of St. Louis. It is one of the first images of the city, or any city west of the Mississippi for that matter. Pomarede is best known for his work in realism and naturalism in painting cathedral interiors. He also painted panoramic river scenes, which is consistent with this piece. Born in France, he later relocated to St. Louis, Missouri to paint the interior of the St. Louis Cathedral, whose spire is seen in the skyline. According to Crystal Bridges, the cathedral was actually completed after 1835, the year that Pomarede signed the painting. It is suggested that he went back and added the spire to the skyline because it was important to his own biography. According to the museum, the painting records St. Louis's original main features and suggests that the city is a growing metropolis. The steamboat in the lower left corner and the other boats in the background support this statement. On the boat, there are two different types of people portrayed. There are people dressed in top hats and gowns, suggesting that they are wealthy. Then there are people working on the boat and helping to dock the boat. According to a docent at the museum, the people working on the boat are black and are most likely slaves or indentured servants, which was common at the time. The view of St. Louis is the view one would see if they were looking across the Mississippi from Illinois town. This allows us to see the entire 1830s skyline. A different docent at the museum gave his interpretation of the skyline. He claims that if one were to view the present-day skyline, the iconic St. Louis Arch would be located on the left-hand side. This is right above the main steamboat in the lower corner. Elements of art that Pomarede used to create this piece include a darker neutral color palette and a one-point perspective. He uses dark colors, especially in the foreground. The boat is painted using browns and blacks. The brown is also reflected in the shoreline. The dark colors contrast with the light blue sky, which is the only thing not fitting with the color scheme. He uses a one-point perspective for this piece, the vanishing point being the spire of the cathedral. The spire is more or less in the middle of the background, and everything radiates outwards. The angle of the steamboat in the foreground can be drawn back to the point. However, the only things that contrast it are the boats that are traveling downstream perpendicular to the spire. Lastly, Pomarede creates a distinct foreground, middle ground, and background. The foreground consists of the bank, the steamboat, and people departing the boat. Foreground and background are separated by a middle ground, which consists of the river busy with activity. There are steamboats and even canoes on the river. Then there is the background, which consists of buildings on the opposite shore and the thick clouds above them. Pomarede's View of St. Louis reminds me of another river scene that we studied earlier in class this year. It has certain similarities to Thomas Cole's The Oxbow. Like Pomarede, Cole painted using the realism style. His works include paintings of American landscapes. Both View of St. Louis and The Oxbow are river scenes painted in a painterly style. Pomarede uses the edge of the Mississippi to create line. He creates texture in the clouds with his use of color. Cole also uses the riverbanks to create line in his piece. In addition, he uses the texture of the foliage in the foreground to separate the foreground and the background. In View of St. Louis, it seems that the city's expansion is most important to Pomarede. The scene also evokes a busy feel as many people and animals are crowded onto the boat. On the other hand, Cole's The Oxbow evokes a dramatic emotion. The scene is powerful with the passing storm on the right and full of tranquility with the calm and sunny farmlands on the left. As part of the Hudson River School, Cole valued harmony in nature, which is reflected in this work. I chose this piece because its bright blue sky first caught my attention in the gallery. Then I noticed the name of the piece was View of St. Louis. This immediately resonated with me because I am also from Missouri. When I noticed the steamboat in the lower corner, I immediately thought of Mark Twain and his history in Missouri. I was surprised at the sense of nostalgia that this painting evoked in me. I've studied a lot of Mark Twain growing up, and it reminded me of some of his stories, specifically Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. So because of this, I felt like I already had a deep connection with the painting.